Now that's a lot of damage!
Hello everyone, I just wanted to make this guide on the build that I've been playing for about a month or so. It is a Spartan build with the sword and spear. I've been having a lot of fun with it, so I'm basically going to give my take on a guide. I'm going to be making it as comprehensible as possible, but also trying to go through the points pretty quick. So the playstyle is built around control and burst window damage setups with your weapons. It's a very fun playstyle. You have to know timings, you have to know enemy opponent ability cooldowns, and you have to have good footwork, which is, basically the space in between yourself and the opponent. So at first I'm going to go over stats, then perks from the weapon skill trees, then we'll go over item, my specific choices for what I selected, and then I will go over combos, some pointers, as well as footage of duels. This is a PvP exclusive video. I'm not doing anything on PvE, so unfortunately I'm not going to be much help with that. But let's get started. So for stats, the first thing you notice, they might be a little bit wonky. So I decided to go for 100 strength, 200 dex, 110 con. That's the bare minimum I find for this build. The 100 strength, it's good for sword damage, good for spear damage. You get the 5% damage to melee light weapon attacks. You're not going to be using this with a spear at all, ever. I mean, maybe if you screw up a left click, but it's mostly exclusively before the sword. And I'll go into why later. For the second perk, very strong. It's going to be 10% damage to melee weapon heavy attacks. This is going to be beneficial for finishers with the spear. After a stun, we'll go into that combo later, as well as coup de grace benefits from this perk as well, so that coup de grace damage is actually increased because it is considered a heavy attack with the latest patch. Then we have the dex perks, 5% crit chance, pretty cool, whatever. 5% thrust damage, amazing for spear thrusts, which you'll be doing a lot of. This does not benefit sweep, this does not benefit kick, but it does benefit skewer, initial hit damage, as well as coup de grace damage as well. And of course the heavy thrust. Next perk, dodge costs 10 less stamina. This is absolutely crucial. We're going to be dodging a lot to activate a perk, which I will go over later. Dodging is, extremely important in this game. You need to be able to iframe a lot of abilities coming at you, especially if someone's in your face, hyper aggressive. The 10% bonus backstab and headshot damage, obviously you don't care about headshot, but the backstab damage is absolutely amazing. With this build, you're going to be rotating during your burst windows, your control setups behind the enemy, which I will go over that rotation later. So that perk is absolutely amazing. And I go 110 con. I got a little bit more gear, so I'm at 120, but the base, the bare requirement is 110 con. Health consumable, whatever, it doesn't matter. Increase health, that's cool, I guess, but it's this perk that matters. Minus 10% critical damage taken. Now you eat some rabbit food, which is 40 con. I'll look it right here. 40 con for you. Now that boosts this bad baby up to 160 con. So you get the 150 con perk, which is minus 10% critical damage taken. Now critical damage in this game is probably the most important thing to mitigate, period. But with this setup, you're allowed to have 100 strength, 200 dex, and at least 110 con. That way you eat the 40 con food, and you'll be able to get that nice juicy perk right there. Okay, so now we're going to go into perks for the weapon skills specifically. I want to start with sword, and then we'll maneuver into the spear. So I'm going to go over all my perk selections, all the reason I chose the abilities that I did, and how it plays into the playstyle exactly. So we'll start on the left-hand tree, that's the easiest. So you just got to get one of these. Successful heavy attacks deal 30% in power. You're never going to heavy attack with a sword. It's just, you're not really going to do it. So it doesn't really matter. It's just a filler. The final attack in your light attack chain inflicts a 20% slow. This you will utilize. You can be chasing. I usually do it on bow, rapier, musket, rapier users when they're just bouncing all over the place. You're just spamming this. And if you clip them with that third one, they got a 20% slow. It's pretty nice, and that feeds into another perk, which I will get to in just a sec. 10% crit chance. You obviously want that. Crit chance is amazing in this game. It helps us get more, crits off, which is a lot more damage because of the gear that you have. I will get into that. Mobility, move 33% faster. This is extremely important for approaching targets that are poking at you and they're very good at poking at you. There are different playstyles for ranged builds. Some of them prefer running away with rapier, maybe fire staff, ice gauntlet. They constantly use their abilities to get away from you. You're going to have to approach them. You could always lunge at them, but a lot of the time you're going to be blocking, moving, waiting for stamina to recharge, blocking, moving. So this is extremely great for approaching people. Now we got this next perk when you block an attack, gain some empower. This is great against ranged people. Once again, you're not really going to be blocking melee a whole lot. There's some niche situations, but you're mostly going to be using it against ranged. This is great because if you're blocking someone, they're hitting you, all of a sudden you do 50% more damage from empower, and you hit them with a lunge, it crits, you bash them. I mean, it's going to be a bad day for them. It's going to be a real bad day to do a lot of damage. We got this one, 10% more damage to slowed foes. Not very great. It benefits from the third attack chain slowing. Sometimes you get it off, it's just a little bit more damage. Nothing else is really better than that, so you just take it to get to the final perk. Confidence, when health is full, you deal 15% more damage. It's nice. It's not a full 15% multiplier, it's additive, but it's still about 12%, 12% more damage, which is nice. If you are full health, which you're probably not going to be when you're fighting, but you know, on the off chance you are, you do bump damage. It's pretty cool. Critical precision, you get a crit. You move faster. It's good. Nothing really else to say about that. Bread and butter right here, though. Leadership, 10% increased damage. This is a more multiplier. This means when you get it, you do 10% more damage. You don't care about your group particularly. I mean, you're just trying to get your damage as high as possible. And this guy right here, you don't have to be in a group. You can be solo. It's 10% more damage. Get it. It's amazing. You got two choices, Sturdy Shield, or you can get Sturdy Grip. Now, like I said, you don't block melee a whole lot. I don't think this is worth taking. But this 15% additional physical armor, it does benefit you. It does mitigate more physical damage that you take. So it's pretty good. So I go for that. And the final passive that I take is High Grip. You know, you're going to be shot a lot by range. Fire Staff, Ice Gauntlet, Bows, Musket. This is just great all around. It gives you more stamina for you to approach, do your thing. It's a great passive. Go for it. Leaping Strike, leap 6 meters, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. It's really far. It's not just 6 meters. It's pretty far. It feels longer than 6 meters. The thing with this ability is it's actually incredibly difficult to land. If you're good at it, people are going to notice. People are going to be afraid. But if you're bad with it, nobody cares. It doesn't do a whole lot. It's basically a movement ability, which it will be utilized in some situations as a movement ability, not for the damage or the stagger specifically. But in order to use this efficiently, you want to be able to set it up with Shield Bash, which I will get to right now. Also for this, 30% more damage, or yeah, 50% more damage with below 30% health. Pretty cool for a finisher. Flashy. It's just good. I don't like this. You're typically not hitting back to people. Don't go for it. You need perks in other slots. It's just you need all 20 to be able to get exactly what you need, and you still can't even get everything that you need. So second ability, Shield Bash, bread and butter. This is amazing. So bash someone because of this, lasts 3 seconds. It's not a stun like in other games. It's a sleep. They take damage from any source other than a dot, then they wake up. So you want to use this for setup, which I will get into in the combo section later. Cool if you do more damage with this perk. And the last ability, it's going to be Defiant Stance. Now this ability is very, very versatile. Reduces damage by 30% for 8 seconds, but if you're above 50% health, then it goes in up to 50% damage reduction, which is absolutely insane. And if you get the final perk, which you will, when it ends, you recover 15% of your maximum health. All right, so there's a lot to get into with this ability, right? So the first thing, when you're activating it, you have Grit. It can be utilized to prevent stagger from other people's abilities if they're hitting you. So say you're swinging on them, and they cast an ability, and you're in the middle of an animation. You can't cancel it. You just hit Defiant Stance. You have Grit right there. And that will allow you to follow up with, you know, maybe more attacks, whatever. It just prevents the stagger, which is extremely beneficial. Now, this also allows you to trade very, very well with Great Axe users, Hatchet, just other melee users that want to get in close, spam the hell out of you. You have 50% damage reduction. You're going to win every single melee trade if they decide to fight into it, which they shouldn't, but a lot of people do. And the final thing about Defiant Stance is it heals you for 15% when it ends. Now, you can cancel it automatically by either 1, sheathing your weapon, or 2, swapping to Spear. So this allows you to choose if you would rather have the damage mitigation up for longer, or if you need to heal immediately. You know, if you're going to die from a dot, you pop this, you swap to your spear, you get that 15% health. I mean, you just saw the effect right there. It's very versatile. It allows you to do many different things, and it's not, it just allows for outplaying in it. I think it's a very good ability, and I would never choose anything else other than that. So the spear perks, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go over the passes first, and then I'll go into the active abilities, start on the left-hand tree first. So this one, nobody cares, uses a just a filler. This guy, pretty important, successful heavy attacks, reduce all spear cooldowns by 15%. Your coup de grace is considered a heavy attack. When you utilize coup de grace, you will get this benefit. But there is an issue with coup de grace reducing the cooldown from refreshing reach or sweep specifically. It might be a visual bug. I've done some tests with the timer, and it seems to be a visual bug, but sometimes when you utilize sweep, I'll show it right here actually. So what you should see is sweep cooldown lowering. When I use coup de grace, it'll jump back up sharply, just like that. But then it goes back down. I'm not sure if it's a visual bug. I've 15% is hard to gauge with that sort of stuff. I think it's still working properly, but regardless, it still does lower the cooldowns for your other two abilities, Skewer and Kick. I still think it's extremely beneficial to go for. Now this one right here, Invigorating Crits, absolutely necessary. Restore 20 stamina on critical hits. This, you know, if you backstab, it's a critical hit, you're going to be backstabbing a lot. And you're going to be dodging a lot, so you want to make sure you get this. Merciless Strength, extremely good for increasing coup de grace damage. Now, it doesn't increase sweeps damage, and it doesn't increase vault kicks damage, but the most important damage that you can increase for this build is probably coup de grace damage. This is your finisher damage. This is what, if you boost up with all these multipliers as much as possible, you know, I've gotten 4,600, you know, crits on people, and it's just a great ability to have, 25%. It's not exactly 25%, but it's still amazing. This guy right here, stamina regen. I mean, it says what it does right there. This is really good for when you're dodging a lot, just to get your stamina back briefly. Great perk. Love to see it. On the right hand side, 50% increased damage, less 30% health. Pretty great. It's more damage when they're lower, which allows you to kill them quicker. Nothing more to say. Now this guy right here, aggressive maneuvers. I could make a whole video about this ability. It's extremely great to use. The first successful hit with an ability within 2 seconds of dodges reduces all spear cooldowns by 20%. Now this thing is important. This is why you always want to be dodging before you use an ability. You dodge, sweep, dodge, kick, dodge, sweep, dodge, skewer, just like that. So what you don't want to do is, say you bash someone. You don't want to dodge, then swap to spear, because you will not have the aggressive maneuvers proc. So what you want to do is, say that's a bash, you want to dodge, then swap, and then you can sweep, and then you get that cooldown reduction benefit. Now I will tell you this, with this build, aggressive maneuvers has a interesting interaction with the skewer. I'm pretty sure when you skewer somebody and the dot starts ticking, when you dodge, that dot will sometimes consume the aggressive maneuvers proc, so you will not get the benefit. This is a bug. I have a forum post on it, but it's just something that you need to look out for. This guy right here, critical hits extend the duration of dots. Basically, skewer a dot by 20%. It's not, I don't know. I think it's 20% of the current duration is how this works. So if it's at 5%, you do 20% of that. It's 1 second extra, you know. But I've seen skill trees on the internet that say it increases duration by 2 seconds. I don't think that's the case. I think it's 20% of the current debuff's time. So even though skewer lasts 15 seconds, when you use this, it's not going to increase the duration by 3 seconds. It's going to increase the duration by 20% of what it currently is. And the final one, Exploded Weakness, you know, 10% bonus damage from each debuff. This is great. It gains the benefit from debuff damage is every debuff that's on the target. So if someone else applies a debuff to them, you get the benefit. Now, it's not actually 10%. It's additive, not multiplicative. And this one is, it seems to be having severely diminished returns. It's only 6% per debuff. So it's still more damage, but it's not nearly as much as the text. You know, you're not going to ever get 30%. You're going to get about 18%. Still a great ability. you got to make sure you have it. So let's go over the first ability, Sweep. Knocks people down. This is basically a stagger. It's a stagger that knocks people onto the ground. If they have anything that makes them immune to stagger, then Sweep will not knock them onto the ground. So if they have grit, they're not going to be knocked on the ground. If they're jumping in the air, they're not going to be knocked on the ground. That sort of stuff. So it's a great ability, short cooldown, get all 3 perks. This allows you to have grit while you're doing the attack. Pretty amazing. Coup de grace, absolutely necessary. I'll get into some combos with it, and when you want to utilize this later in the video. But this ability is bread and butter. Skewer, I mean, this is pretty bread and butter too. This allows you to do an insane amount of bleed damage on the target. So get everything, you know, first perk, 20% damage, full health. They're never going to be at full health. You're never going to skewer someone at full health. But hey, you know, you got to get to the final perk. Gain Empower Skewer crits. This is cool. You're not typically going to gain too much benefit of this. There are some situations where I have, but you're typically swapping back to your sword after you get a nice combo off. Deep Wound, bleed damage. I mean, it's 50% more, you know, bleed damage. I mean, it's actually insane. It's 20% per second, so 300% of your weapon damage over the entire duration of the skewer, and you can increase that duration if you do a critical strike. Pretty good stuff. Vault Kick. Vault Kick is a awesome ability. Can be difficult to land. Does have some problems with momentum, but it's amazing. So stuns 1.5 seconds. Pretty cool. This is really good. If they're below 50% health and you hit them with this, you get 20% increased damage for 5 seconds. That's amazing. This, you know, if you're kicking someone, chances are you're doing your combo. If they're below 50% health, chances are you're probably just going to kill them. I mean, the damage is, it's pretty tight, but you can get away with it sometimes, and I'll go into that in some videos later. Now, this is absolutely necessary. You can't play this build without this. Cooldowns for other spell abilities are reduced by 30% on successful hit. So, this allows you to get Sweep, Kick, Sweep, Skewer, or Sweep, Kick, Skewer, Sweep, Kick, Skewer. It's a very nice, these abilities complement each other extremely well. Alright, so now we're going to go over gear. Let's open this up real quick. So I'm not going to get into the whole spiel of why faction gear is more or less equivalent to 600 gear score gear, but I will go into why I chose this specifically. So I wear 4 medium pieces, 1 heavy piece. The heavy is the helm. I like how it looks. It's slightly inefficient with a 22.3 medium weight. I could get it up a little bit more if I was more efficient, but I mean, come on. That looks fucking awesome. Okay, so for the helm, basic helm, refreshing, resilient. It doesn't really matter what stats you get as long as your final stats are 100 strength, 200 dex, 110 con. Refreshing, resilient, refreshing, resilient, refreshing, resilient. But I did buy these recently. It's resilient. You want resilient on every single piece of equipment that you have. Mitigating critical damage is just, it's too important to survivability in fights. But I did swap this out with a standard faction gear for the Enfeebling Skewer. I think Enfeebling Skewer is very good once you get your combo off, which I will go over later. They do 14% less damage for 8 seconds. That's massive. It's a huge damage mitigation. For jewelry would be this beautiful amulet right here. Now, you could go for, you know, health cooldown reduction, health, increased healing received. I prefer stamina recovery and health, because what it states is when you're hit while below 50% health, you gain whatever stamina back. The cooldown is 30 seconds. It's not 56 seconds. And you only receive the stamina if you're hit while below 50%. If you're at 60 and a hit brings you to 40, you will not proc this. The hit has to occur while you're below 50. But this is amazing. Say you fucked up your abilities, your rotations, you're getting screwed, you're trying to dodge all attacks. The Great Axe user's pounding in the sand, you're out of stamina, they hit you, boom, you're full stamina again, you can keep dodging. It gives you stamina when you need it the absolute most, which I think is way more beneficial than generic cooldown reduction, as well as generic healing received. So that's why I chose this particular amulet. Now the ring might be a little bit weird. I personally prefer this. I love the thrust damage. I'm trying to get as much damage as possible out of the spear. That's where most of the damage comes from. Leeching is just a nice, cool little side effect. It's not a whole lot of leeching it does because it doesn't trigger off of our skewer bleed, but it is still nice. Now, I could swap that out for cooldown reduction. I've thought about it, but I don't I don't need the cooldown reduction for this build, and I'll go over exactly how much cooldown reduction you need here in a bit. So the leech is pretty nice. You can't go thrust damage and crit chance, otherwise I think that's what I would do, but I do value thrust damage much more than crit chance on this build. Now for the earring, pretty standard earring, cooldown reduction, life regen. There's not really any two better perks that you can pick. You can get something. I mean these are the best. So this is what I got. Unfortunately, with the earring, if you die, you have to unequip it, re-equip it for the regenerating passive to work. But the cooldown passive always works, and it's just fantastic for this build. Now, my sword and spear choice is a little interesting. So I got Rogue. Right now, Rogue is bugged. It applies to all critical damage, so it doesn't have to be specifically backstab damage. In the next patch, it's going to get fixed. I'm going to get a new sword, but I'm going to keep this spear unless I can find one of a higher level with the same amount or more stats with the same perks. Because with the spear, you're not doing generic critical hits. All of your hits are almost exclusively going to be backstab, so it's going to be guaranteeing hits, which is why you don't necessarily need a crit chance ring. So the sword, crit multiplier, pretty cool stuff. Chain fire, it's nice bonus damage. You're not going to be getting too many hits off with the sword in melee range typically, so you're able to gain the benefit of that cool 2-second cooldown window off your chain fire more than if you were just sitting there spamming the left click attack. It's good burst damage, which the build's all about burst damage. The spear, rogue, amazing backstab damage. Now this is where I think keenly empowered is the second best perk to have on a weapon for this build specifically. All of your damage comes from burst windows. So when you initiate your combo, you want to be doing as much damage as possible. You can get another trait on it, such as a proc for fire damage, arcane damage, whatever. You can't get another vicious modifier for more critical multiplier damage. You can get keen, which, like I said, this build with the spear, the only damage you're doing with it is almost exclusively backstab, so you don't need more crit chance. This is why I think keenly empowered is the best. When you're doing your burst window, you're going to be critting, you're going to be hitting super hard, and that's your damage right there in that slight window. So this 15% bonus is up when you need it the most, and I think that's the most beneficial. Now for the shield, shield on stats, or stats on shields don't really matter. What matters are the perks. Now I got Keen, Vicious, Keenly Jagged. I think this is the best setup you can get period for shield. Crit chance is great for the sword because you're not going to be doing a whole lot of backstabs with it. Vicious, just more crit damage. It's a lot of damage. Keenly Jagged. Now this is interesting because what this does is add to the spear perk that we went over earlier. This exploited weakness. So it does add to the debuff counter, which increases the damage that your spear does. So you hit him with a crit with your sword, you swap to your spear, you start doing your combo, you're going to be doing more damage because of the bleed from the shield specifically. Now as for gem choices, I prefer going pure physical damage on the spear. The 50% damage while your stamina is now full, it's not multiplicative, it's additive, it's actually about 12%, but it's still a lot of damage. It goes into the rotation very well because you're dodging, you're always going to be low on stamina, and you're always going to be getting that bonus damage. I do like to go for the split damage on sword, simply because the perks from the attribute tree don't scale. A lot of them, rather, do not scale with the elemental damage conversion. This 10% damage to melee weapon heavy attacks, this does not scale, so you're losing a lot of damage. 5% thrust damage, this doesn't scale as well. And what I care most about is thrust heavy attack damage for my spear. So for my spear, I decided to go pure damage, or pure physical damage. Even though there is an Onyx meta, which prevents a lot of the physical damage, I still feel like it's more beneficial to put a Gambit gem inside. You do more damage. I did create this nerd spreadsheet about a week and a half ago that did verify that you will do more damage with this setup with a Gambit gem as opposed to a elemental gem, even if they're in full Onyx. So fighting with this build is very combo based. You have to have good spacing, and when you do utilize your combos, you have to press the abilities and do your actions as quick as possible, otherwise the enemy will get out of the combo, and that's a big no-no. So the most damaging combo that you can use, the most beneficial one, is to do a lunge into bash. Then you want to swap to spear, dodge for the aggressive maneuvers proc first, sweep, dodge, kick, dodge, sweep, dodge, skewer, disengage. So I'll demonstrate this right now. Lunge, bash, swap, dodge, sweep, dodge, kick, dodge, sweep, dodge, skewer, disengage. This is where you want to typically wait for your cooldowns to come up. Now, if you're playing against a more aggressive opponent, such as a Great Axe user, a Hatchet user, maybe even another Spear, you can go for a different combo, which I will demonstrate now. It's a bit less damage, but it's more like a chess move. It enables you to be more aggressive in the future. So it would be a standard bash into a sweep, into a kick, into a skewer. It's much less abilities, but it works very well against specifically Great Axe users, and I'll explain why after the combo. So you're getting up close. Oh my god, you just dodged something. Bash them. Swap. Sweep. Kick. Skewer. Dodge. Lunge away. For the Great Axe user, they're going to chase you. Then you're going to sweep them again. Dodge. Kick them again. Dodge. Get another skewer on. Refresh that stuff. Do more damage with it. It's very deadly. Your sweep's already up again. Your kick will be up again. Skewer might be up. And you can just keep going. So that's very good against aggressive targets. Another combo, which is pretty good, just pull out the spear, say they're doing a hammer attack very slow, you dodge it, you kick them, you dodge, you get behind them, always get behind them, then you finish with the skewer, and then you just get out of there. Let them bleed for a little bit, let them waste some more stamina trying to dodge out, thinking you're going to go aggressive. And then you go back on them, maybe hit them with that, hit them with the bash, swap, sweep, do it all over again. The cooldown reduction is absolutely insane. And I will get into right now exactly how much cooldown reduction you need. So on your equipment, for this build to work, you need exactly 3 pieces of cooldown reduction. Now I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 right there. Look at that bad boy. So if I take 3 of these off, 1, 2, 3. Now I only have 2, right? Let's actually change this up a little bit. Let's do you and you, so I'm still medium. So I only have 2 cooldown reduction now. Let's just try and do the simple combo of sweep, kick, sweep, skewer. Simple stuff, right? Dodge, sweep, dodge, kick, dodge, sweep, dodge, skewer. Now the problem with this is depending on server lag, that second sweep that comes out, you might not have enough time to get that off. So you cannot guarantee the full chain combo if you have 2 pieces of refreshing gear. Let's do it again real quick. Sweep, kick, and see that slight, just that 0.3 seconds. That 0.3 seconds might be enough for them to get out of the kick. So you don't want that to happen. You need to have at least 3 pieces, and we'll do it with just 3. That way I can show you guys exactly what it looks like and how fluid it feels. So dodge, sweep, dodge, kick, dodge, sweep. I mean, it's just as soon as the animations end for one ability, I can go right into the next one. Now I have been thinking about going for freedom instead of full 5 cooldown reduction, but I haven't found any decent pieces to go for, so I have 5 right now. It feels good. You can get a lot of sweeps off, you can get a lot of kicks off. It also reduces the shield buffs, the lunge, and the defiant stance, which is great. I mean, just look at this cooldown reduction. This is insane. It's already up. Boom, just like that. You got another kick again. They want to play some funny stuff, and then go for a coup de grace. I mean, shit hurts. Now, one thing I did fail to go over, unfortunately, is just how many times you want to dodge to get the maximum benefit of a coup de grace. So, with the coup de grace, you want to make sure you're getting the benefit from the gambit gem. Now, this is weird, right? So, say you hit him with the lunge, with a bash. What you're going to do is dodge twice, and then you're going to start the combo and end with the coup de grace. 5,700 damage, that's not too bad. But you want to make sure that because you regenerate stamina during ability use, you want to make sure you're still below 100% while your abilities are going off. And if you do just one dodge like this, you're going to be at full stamina for the coup de grace, which means you're losing out on a lot of damage. A lot of damage. So what I'm going to do now is go through a quick play-by-play on a duel that I had with this guy. He is an absolute monster. He does a absolute shit ton of damage. I think he only has 5 con. I don't know. He hits harder shit, but I'm just going to do a quick play-by-play on how this duel went out. It incorporates quite a bit of what I went over through the guide, so let's just get to it. I start with Defiant Stance. This allows me to approach him without a whole lot of fear of receiving a whole lot of damage. So I'm able to use this to get close to him. I'm keeping that shield up just so I can get a little bit close. I want to see what he does, kind of react to that, see what's going on. So get a little bit closer, get close right here. I see that he fletches me. Now this guy kind of bounced all over the place. I mean, he's really fast. Now he riposte. I swing into it just with a light attack. If you swing into riposte with a light attack, you can immediately dodge. I know from timing from fighting him that my attack would not trigger the riposte, so I kept swinging. Otherwise, I would have immediately dodged. Now we're going in. He gets me hard right there. This is a really bad spot for me. He's about to do some heavy damage. This circle, it applies a lot of debuffs. It does a lot of damage. It really screws you up. Hits him with the ball. That's quite a bit more damage. I mean, you can see those numbers right there. Going through. Now I'm kind of scared. I go in with the lunge though. Get close to him, hit him with the bash, and do the full combo. Now, I didn't dodge twice, so I am missing out on some gambit damage right now. But notice how I swapped, then I dodged, and I'm going to get behind him with the sweep, kick, sweep, skewer. And, I mean, hit him with one, and this is it. I mean, all I got to do is survive at this point. Now I have no stamina right here. I'm absolutely terrified that he's just going to hit me with a couple ranged attacks and kill me. I have no movement abilities. I could use kick, but it's a slower animation. Lunge is off, on cooldown for another second or so. I think he could have finished me off, but he decides to play a little bit more passive. He thinks I'm going to go in, hits him with the ball. I just hold my shield up, letting the bleed tick, and he's down. That's it. The more fun builds to play against. This is going to be Bow Rapier. I don't remember how well this guy plays, but I start off. I'm not sure if he's going to use Poison Shot, Power Shot. So I kind of want to just approach him with my Shield Raid. So right now he used just a normal shot. So I'm not sure what he's going to do. I'm just going to keep my shield up just in case he decides to do something. That way I can figure out his playstyle and react to it appropriately. Power shot. Hits him with the multi-shot. Dodge to the last shot. I don't want to get staggered. Use Defiant Stance. I think I'm going to be able to get close to him here. So I go in for just some swings. He goes to riposte off. So riposte, at the end of the animation, there is a brief, 150 millisecond window where you can hit them while they're still in the animation and not trigger riposte. That's what you just saw right there. So I got a free hit on him. Pretty nice. Keep approaching him. Get that lunge off. I mean, this is it. The guy's dead. So I got the lunge off, got the bash off, swap, dodge, double dodge for that big damage. Sweep, kick, sweep, probably coup de grace. Yep, and he's dead. 4200 crit. I mean, that's it. The guy needs resilient gear or more than 5 con. Yeah, that's that fight. This one a little bit different. Fire Staff Rapier. As you can see, I'm starting with the Defiant Stance. I want to be able to approach him. I don't think I fought this guy yet. I don't know his playstyle. As you see, I'm just running at him. I mean, the damage doesn't really matter. I don't even got to dodge that. I missed the lunge because I am an absolute potato, but so is he because he just dashed into the wall. He has that attack. Don't know what it's called. Fletches me. I'm just approaching him. I'm worried about the riposte, so I'm not dedicating any bashes to him just yet. AGS's gameplay. I think at this point I realize he doesn't have riposte. I go for that, and he's just dead here. Get resilience gear. Get a little bit more than 5 con. So this guy, Bow Rapier, this guy's absolutely nuts. I enjoy playing against him. He's very good, and he's definitely one of the more fun people I've dueled since I went to the server. Let's see what happens. Start with the Vigilant. He starts with Poison Shot. Yep. Hits me with the Evade Shot. He wants to go in on me. I'm not able to get the block off on the flesh. Doesn't do a whole lot. Scared of the riposte still. Dodge into it. Get a couple free hits. That's nice. I'm able to do that. He's just dead here, I think. So I got that beautiful lunge, beautiful shield bash. Double dodge. Get that gambit rolling. Coup de grace. He has resilient gear, but it's just not enough. So I think this guy is shield, great hammer. I believe he is full heavy, a bit tankier, so let's see what happens. Start with the Defiant Stance. He goes for the, that ability. I get him with the lunge, stagger him, into bash, swap, dodge, double dodge, get that gambit damage rolling, kick, sweep, sweep, skewer, disengage. Go back in, dodge. He misses the shield rush, whatever it's called. I dodge the bash. Now he's screwed. I mean, he has that. I dodge it. He has literally nothing right now. And I apparently like to miss my vault kick. Trying to break a shield. Do the shield bash. Miss the skewer as well. Miss the lunge. A lot of missing going on. That's alright though. Misses the shield rush again. I'm probably going to pop Defiant Stance, maybe a little bit of BM. You know, we're getting into it, we're having a good old time. Get the Defiant Stance. Dodge that. It has a deceptively large range. Unfortunately, I get a lag bash. Now here's interesting. Let's go back just a couple seconds actually. So I bash him first, but he's trying to bash me at the exact same time, which means he has grit, which means I cannot go for the sweep combo. Now I bash him, as you can tell from the absolutely horrible VLC quality, that he is stunned. So I'm able to swap, dodge, kick him first. Now, with the grip bug, you're not always able to get a kick into skewer. Sometimes they could roll out quick enough. It's just some weird interaction with how grit works. Not always consistent, but I am able to get the dodge into kick, into the dodge, into... Oh, actually, I missed the skewer, so that's a perfect example. So that was a really bad play on my part. I should have just gone for the bash straight into skewer. So chase him down, dodge. Dodge that. I mean, he has no stamina. I think I just kick him. I tried to kick him. Now he has stamina again. But I'm able to get that and the skewer, and that's the fight. So a bit of a tankier guy. Takes a little bit more effort, a few more rotations of the combo, but not too bad. So I'm not too sure what this guy's build is. I think it's bow rapier. That's typically how it works. Sometimes you get some bow spears, but it's very rare. Let's see what happens. Starts with poison shot. I did not use Defiant Stance. Get me with that, you know, very immersive combo. The shoot jump. Very cool stuff. Dodge the riposte. He gets a heavy in. I mean, I'm just spamming at this point, trying to see what he does. He uses the fletch. I use Defiant Stance out here. Not the best Defiant Stance, but it is helping. Dodge the evade shot. He's low on stamina. He does have riposte. I know he has an evade up, but now is my time to go on him. He needs one more dodge, and he's fucking dead. So right there is a very interesting interaction. We can go back real quick. So he's able to fletch through me, but I'm also able to kick him at the same time. So he's downed, and I know he's down. So I immediately dodge to him, sweep, dodge, skewer, and he's dead. I just got to live for about half a second, and he's dead. So that's how that fight goes. This will be the last bit of commentary I do for a fight. This is going to be against a Fire Staff Void Gauntlet, I believe. Let's see what happens. So we start off doing the Defiant Stance, make sure we can close in on him. Just running at him, see what's going on. Miss that, pretty bad. Now, he does do that. It is, as you can see, I took like 2k damage. I would do this trade any day of the week. I'm able to start a combo, dodge, sweep, dodge, skewer. Let's see what happens. So I just wanted to get close with the Void Gauntlet. Misses the root. Runs into me. Big mistake. Able to get a free hit off. So he popped Void Gauntlet. Typically I run away from this, but I believe I'm able to get him with a nice combo here. Into the sweep, into the skewer, and I lunge away. Get some distance. Get back on him. He has no stamina. Unfortunately, I missed the shield bash. Keep running at him. See what he does. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get the block off on time. Botch that. So now we're just approaching him. Get that lunge. Use the lunge to close the gap. You don't always have to utilize it to get a stagger off into a combo. Don't want to get hit by that. Might die. I get that absolutely delicious kickoff. Get the sweep. Coup de grace. He's dead. So that's my build, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. I tried to cover as much as I can in as short lead time as I can and explain as best as I can. I might update it later, just when more patches come through, because I know we are getting a buff here in 1.2 for specifically skewer lunge range. Going to be a little bit further, about 50%, as well as a shorter animation, I think, on the heavy attack. The recovery animation is going to be quicker, so you can dodge out of it sooner, which will be pretty nice. I think that's what's happening. Anyway, guys, you know, feel free to comment if you have any advice, suggestions, stuff like that, and have a great day, guys.